friends, welcome back. It's time for another book review. I was reading this interesting book called The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dobelli. Now, our mind is a very funny place, and most of the time, in spite of knowing that we are going wrong or certain judgments are falling in place, we land up taking wrong decisions or we follow certain patterns. And this book helps you look at and understand your thinking a little better. So what does this book talk about? This book talks about that we are programmed and we are designed at making certain systematic cognitive errors. Now, what are these systematic cognitive errors? They are not just wrong judgment or once or twice we go wrong, but there's a pattern of wrong behaviors, wrong decisions, wrong judgments that we take over a period of time. And this beats the logic, the data, the statistics. So these systemic cognitive errors are lapses in judgment. We land up overestimating or underestimating. We sometimes take in decisions that beat statistics. We know that these things will not work, but yet we put aside the statistics and land up taking another decision. Sometimes we are talking about we follow certain unhealthy habits, very well knowing that these things, if we continue doing, it's going to put us on the wrong path. So why does these errors occur? Rolf talks about two reasons primarily. The reason number one that he talks about, it is evolution. So many years of our being, from the time we become Homo sapiens to we grew up, we've been following certain patterns. There is certain basic instincts out of which we operate, called the id. We are still driven by id. Today there is a data that survival is not an issue, but yet most of our decisions and thinking comes out of survival mode. So that is one of the major reasons why we do this systematic errors. The second reason why we do the systematic errors is that we are driven by emotions. Basically, our emotions are kept in place with logic and reasoning. But when emotions overpower, we keep the logic and all aside, and we'll end up causing these systematic cognitive errors. Now in this book, he talks about 100 such examples he gives about these errors happening, of how we overestimate, underestimate, or our judgment lapses continuously. And it's a fun read because most of these examples come along with a lot of research, lot of analysis, lot of data, and reading it really sets you thinking. So I'm just going to explain two of these systematic cognitive errors just to give you a glimpse of it. So one of the systematic cognitive error that he talks about is that the last cookie in the jar looks always more appealing and tasty. Now what happens is, whenever you go out to buy something, a shopkeeper or a seller may tell you that this is the last piece, and our judgment fails. When the scarcity cognitive error comes in, whenever you feel that the last piece, we are not going to get it, we land up leaving all our judgments, all our statistics, all our data aside, and we'll end up buying that thing. Sometimes we will end up paying a heavy price. Sometimes we will end up buying something that we don't want. Sometimes we may do an error in trying to overlook certain defects in our process of selecting that particular thing. So this is one general example of a systemic cognitive error. The second example of systemic cognitive error is something to do with teamwork. We always believe that teams will perform better than individuals. However, there's something called as social loafing. It has been proven over a period of time that if teams do not have individual goals given to them, most of the time the team will start underproducing than what all of them individually would have contributed. So while you are operating with teams, if your cognitive judgment goes haywire, you will expect the team to outperform, but you will get poor results. So when you want a team to outperform, there are certain other parameters and checks that needs to be kept in place in order to create a better impact. Such 100 examples and stories and judgment errors is discussed in the book. I feel that it's a fantastic read. Okay, after reading this book, it's not going to be that you're not going to have systematic errors happening. They will definitely happen, but you will be able to reduce their chances. And there are two things that he advises towards the end of the book. He says that increase your circle of competence. If you are operating within the circle of competence, use your logic, reason, thinking. But when you are beyond your circle of competence, let your intuition take place and you will probably make lesser errors. So this is one learning that he talks about. The second advice that he gives yourself, that whenever you're taking a decision, whenever you're making a judgment, or you doubt your judgment, ask yourself not what you think whether it is right or wrong, ask yourself how you feel. So it's an interesting read. I hope you'll enjoy reading The Art of Thinking Clearly. Thank you very much.